Good morning, students. Welcome to my channel. Today we are going to read the beautiful play by Susan Hill, On the Face of It, the sixth story from your second book, Vistas. It's a beautiful play with a lot of moral values where we can learn so many things and we can correct our social behavior. Before we come to the play, I am reminded of one story from my childhood. And with that story only, I'll start my class today. When I was a student and I was studying in class 8, I remember a sweet little girl who came to our class and sat beside me. I didn't notice anything about her. And when the teacher introduced her as the new admission, I was equally excited to have my new classmate. When the teacher started dictating the important notes related to the previous chapter that we had finished, the girl was not writing anything. I noticed and I asked her, "Please start writing. You are missing your notes." The girl smiled, didn't say anything. Then I noticed. I looked at her. She had her right hand cut from the elbow. It was amputated. I don't know why. But I felt bad and I said, "Oh, so sorry. You can't write. Let me finish the task for you. I'll be giving the notes to you." She again smiled but became sad. Now I want to know from you, if it is a live class, what mistake I had committed. Obviously, I had hurt that girl, reminding her that she had some problem with her physical abilities and that I shouldn't have done. Later on, my father advised me. So my feelings were related to lot of sympathy for her. But as we all know, and we must know, and we must understand that physical challenges do not mean that these people are disabled. Rather, they are specially abled and they need empathy. They don't need our sympathy. And that's what this play by Susan Hill wants to teach us. It also teaches many other values, students, and you are lucky enough to have this play in your syllabus. So let us start today's lesson. Starting with introduction about the writer. Let me tell you, Susan Hill is an English author of fiction and non-fiction works. Her novels include The Woman in Black, The Mist in the Mirror, and I Am the King of the Castle, for which she received the Somerset Maugham Award in 1971. She was born on 5th February 1942 and is surviving till now, and she is now 78 years old. She lives in Scarborough, United Kingdom. Her spouse, Stanley Wells, and she has children, Jessica Ruston, Clemency Wells, Jessica Wells, and Imogen Wells, as you can see in the slide. She was educated at King's College London, Bars Hill School, and Community College, Scarborough Convent School. Awards, she has got many, but I have mentioned for you the main two awards, Somerset Maugham Award and Nestle Smarties Book Prize for 6 to 8 years, Costa Novel Award. So now you can imagine the height of this talented writer, this well-read, knowledgeable, great scholar who has written this play, and now it is in your syllabus. Stephen Hawking and Sudha Chandran, you can see two pics on the slide. Stephen Hawking needs no introduction. If we know the greatest physicist after Newton, he is Stephen Hawking. And Sudha Chandran, again a celebrity dancer, classical dancer, a great actor, and both of them we know had physical challenges. Stephen Hawking died in 2018. He was a physicist, cosmologist, director of research at the Center for Theoretical Cosmology at the University of Cambridge. He was suffering from motor neuron disease, and it is said that Albert Einstein's IQ and his IQ are same. He has given so many important principles to the world that we are really indebted to him. So it proves that physical disability or physical challenges have got nothing to do with your mental abilities, your talents, your work output, your enthusiasm, and your contributions. You can do a lot even if someone has got some physical challenges. And same is the case with Sudha Chandran, who met with a car accident, and one of her legs, you can see in the picture also, is a Jaipur leg, and she dances so well. Girish Sharma, you can see the picture, is a badminton champion with one leg. He has only one leg because he was a polio patient. He has lost his leg in a train accident, and he is a badminton champion. And Preeti Srinivasan, captain of under 19 Tamil Nadu women cricket team, unfortunate swimming accident took place and she became paralyzed. She continues to inspire others' lives through her organization Soul Free, Hope to Women with Severe Disabilities, and assists them in fulfilling their highest human potential. So these examples are not only these, there are many examples in the world where you can see physically challenged people achieving the highest success which normal people can only dream of. So these are the motivational figures who inspire others, who motivate others. Here we have two characters in the play, Mr. Lamb and Derry. Mr. Lamb is an old man. He has got one tin leg, and Derry is a teenager boy who has got his half face acid burnt. Now, what happened, how both of them met, and what is common between them, and what is the difference between them, who helps this boy to overcome his problem, and how? Let us see. Problems of these two characters. Mr. Lamb was an old person who had a tin leg because his leg was blown off by a bomb in the war. He is alone but positive, accepting, inviting, serving for others, knows that there is no one supporting him, yet doesn't complain. Derry's half face has got burnt due to acid. He developed inferiority complex, became unsocial and introvert, thought people hated him, and talked about his ugly face only. Starting with introduction about the writer, let me tell you, Susan Hill is an English author of fiction and non-fiction works. Her novels include The Woman in Black, The Mist in the Mirror, and I Am the King of the Castle, for which she received the Somerset Maugham Award in 1971. She was born on 5th February 1942 and is surviving till now, and she is now 78 years old. She lives in Scarborough, United Kingdom. Further, he has a more cheerful, optimistic approach to life. Also, he conveys Derry to live life to the fullest and avoid bitterness. He further advises him to accept life as it is. However, Derry was moved by Mr. Lamb's attitude and spirit. Besides, when Derry tries to come out of his shell, he met a great loss of the only person who makes friends with him. In this slide, we will see how they have tried to read the play with expressions. So, let us enjoy this slide. You will see and try to enjoy it.
Mind apples?
What? Who's that? Who's there?
Lamb's my name. Mind apples, grab apples, Rosar. Wind falls in the long grass, you could drill.
And there I thought this was an empty place. I didn't know there is anybody here.
That's all right. I'm here. But what are you afraid of, boy? That's all right.
I thought it was empty, an empty house.
So it is. Since I'm out here in the garden, it is empty until I go back inside. In the meantime, I'm out here and likely to stop. A day like this, a beautiful day. Not a day to be indoors.
I've got to go.
Not on my account. I don't.
As you can see, they are trying their best to give expressions to the dialogues. Same is the case with the next slide. Inspire others, who motivate others. Here we have two characters in the play, Mr. Lamb and Derry. Mr. Lamb is an old man. He has got one tin leg, and Derry is a teenager boy who has got his half face acid burnt. Now, what happened, how both of them met, and what is common between them, and what is the difference between them, who helps this boy to overcome his problem and how. Let us see. In the next slide, it is
Mr.
an
Lamb,
audio
mind
clip
the
sent
apples.
by another student.
What? Who's
They
that?
have
Who's there?
Lambs, my
combined
name.
from their
Mind the
homes
apples.
and
Grab apple
played the
doors are.
roles
Windfall in the long
this
grass.
audio
You could
clip.
trip.
I.
Mr.
Here
Lamb,
I
mind
thought
the apples.
this was an empty place.
Now, this audio clip slide has been shown less because maybe it is not very audible to the people. So, I am coming to the theme of the play. The play deals with the sense of loss, a sense of isolation, and how to overcome it. The actual pain caused by a physical impairment is often much less than the sense of alienation felt by the person. The title, on the face of it, is used to mean that something seems to be good, true in spite of some misfortune. The writer wants to say that we should never feel shame on our appearance. Also, we should be positive and optimistic about ourselves. The problem with Derry is that he feels his acid burnt face has made him ugly, and people are looking at him, they are talking about his face, and they are commenting on him. And with this inferiority complex, he has become withdrawn. He remains enclosed inside the four walls. He doesn't want to meet people. He feels the world is not a happy place for him, and he is very sad. He thinks there is nothing for him in this world that he can enjoy because of his acid burnt face. And this man, Mr. Lamb, with his positive conversation with this child, slowly and gradually, very beautifully changes his attitude towards life. the beautiful examples that he gives to this child is of the weeds. The weeds that he says, the weeds are also plants and they also have the right to survive. Similarly, he talks about the bees. He said the bees hum for others, but they sing for me. So it depends upon our attitude, how we look at the world. There are so many beautiful things to stare at. Why people should stare at his face only? This is the counseling. He acts as a very efficient counselor and who could change this boy's attitude towards life even in a single meeting. Mr. Lamb appears to be very sensitive, kind, considerate, accommodating. He can accommodate. He has got a beautiful garden and he grows crab apples in it and he prepares jelly for the children. The children who come to play in his garden, they do not even talk to him. He doesn't know their names. They do not know his name, but still he climbs on the ladder and pulls the apples from the trees and prepares jelly for them. He has got no grudges, he has got no complaints, and he gives a beautiful counseling to the boy that look at the world. If you want to see it as a happy place, you have this positive attitude, then only the world will appear a happy world to you. Otherwise, there are so many things that you can avoid, ignore, and accept only the positive vibrations. In this slide, we will see how they have tried to read the play with expressions. So let us enjoy this slide. You will see and try to enjoy it.
Mind apples?
What? Who's that? Who's there?
Lamb's my name. Mind apples, crab apples those are. Wind falls in the long grass, you could trip.
And there I thought this was an empty place. I didn't know there is anybody here.
That's all right. I am here. What are you afraid of, boy? That's all right.
I thought it was empty, an empty house.
So it is. Since I'm out here in the garden, it is empty until I go back inside. In the meantime, I'm out here and likely to stop. A day like this, a beautiful day. Not a day to be indoors.
I've got to go.
Not on my account. I don't.
As you can see, they are trying their best to give expressions to the dialogues. Same is the case with the next slide. Children, here is the picture of crab apples. You may be interested in looking at these crab apples who we get the mention of these apples in the play, and Mr. Lamb prepared jelly for the children with these apples. Here is a picture very suitable to the character of Derry, sad, pessimistic, half acid burnt. He is a boy of 14 with a burnt face. He looks ugly, loner, pessimistic, suffered from severe negative complexes, anger and frustration, withdrawn and introvert. Withdrawn and introvert because he doesn't socialize, he doesn't convey his feelings to anyone. Low confidence and indulged in self-pity. Self-pity is when one feels that I am having some problem and I am not as happy and beautiful and confident like others. So the person has pity for himself, suspicious of the intent of others, that people are not interested in me, people are talking behind me. This is a complex which we called inferiority complex. Now I have divided the characteristics of both the characters in the play. Psychophysical challenges of the physical impairments is the value that we have to learn from this play. The physically challenged people have got not only the physical problems, they have some psychophysical problems. Dependency, they have to be dependent on others, and it sometimes humiliates. Then the feeling of alienation, seclusion, loneliness. They feel they are not like others, so they want to remain alone. They love their loneliness, they love their seclusion, and it is dangerous. Embarrassment. They feel embarrassed when they look at others with all normal physical structure. Need empathy. Now, these three problems that I have discussed with you, dependency, then feeling of alienation, seclusion, loneliness, embarrassment, the solution to these lies in these two boxes. They need empathy. Sympathy hurts them. And similarly, they need positive support. They need counseling, like Mr. Lamb has given to this boy, Derry. He is able to change this boy's attitude, and in the end, we are so surprised to see that Derry runs from his home, avoiding his mother's calls to meet Mr. Lamb. If only in one single meeting this boy was changed, all his thoughts were changed. That means we have to change ourselves. We have to feel their problems and we have to support them. We have to give them proper counseling if required. Now, recapitulation questions. Before coming to the recapitulation questions, I would like to tell you about the end of the play. When Derry comes back from his home to support Mr. Lamb to pick the crab apples, he finds Mr. Lamb has fallen down from the ladder, and the sad ending hurts us. Mr. Lamb has died all alone. There was nobody to support him, and Derry starts crying. So I will be giving one question to you, students, to think about any other end that is possible for this play, which you would have given if you would have been the author of the play. Then please give a twist to your thoughts, give expressions to your feelings, and pick up your pen and write something about a different end of the play. Because in the end, in the mid of the play, we become very happy when we look at Derry's changed attitude and the child becoming a happy child. But suddenly, when he starts crying in the end, the reader is hurt and the society is under a big question mark. Who was responsible for such pathetic death of Mr. Lamb? Only the society. There was nobody who bothered for him. There was nobody who cared for him, though he was ready for everyone. So, go through the recapitulation questions. The slides are before you and you can attempt them in your assignment. These are MCQ, multiple choice questions, and I hope you all will be able to do them. Now I have 4 short answer questions. What does Mr. Lamb prepare from the crab apples and for whom? The answer is he prepares jelly from those crab apples for those children who came to his garden to play every day. How was Mr. Lamb's leg damaged? It was blown off in a war. Why does Derry say, "It ate my face up, it ate me up"? It refers to acid. Acid ate his face up, burnt his face up. It ate him up also. How? Because he became a sad, lonely, introvert child who loved no one because he felt nobody loved him, nobody appreciated him. What is so uncommon in Mr. Lamb's garden? Mr. Lamb's garden has got one very uncommon feature, that its gates are always open, and he grows weeds in his garden to show that even weeds have got the right to existence equally on the same land as others have. Now, you have to add characteristics to Mr. Lamb, already well known and understood, I hope. Similarly, for Derry, and gist of the lesson, again a thorough revision, The play depicts, you can read, it depicts beautifully yet grimly the sad world of the physically impaired. It is not the actual pain or inconvenience caused by a physical impairment that troubled a disabled man, but the attitude of the people around him. Two physically impaired people, Mr. Lamb with a tin leg and Derry with a burnt face, strike a band of friendship. Starting with introduction about the writer, let me tell you, Susan Hill is an English author of fiction and non-fiction works. Her novels include The Woman in Black, The Mist in the Mirror, and I Am the King of the Castle, for which she received the Somerset Maugham Award in 1971. She was born on 5th February 1942 and is surviving life. Derry quotes even the story Beauty and the Beast while talking to Mr. Lamb, and he says that I am like that beast and I don't have a hope that some beautiful girl will ever love me. He feels himself ugly as the beast and tells Lamb that no girl can love him. Mr. Lamb's counseling. These are the notes for the class. He motivates him to think positively about life, changes his mindset about people and things. How a man locked himself as he was scared, a picture fell off the wall and got killed. This is the story, a humorous story narrated by Mr. Lamb to Derry to teach that whatever is in the destiny will happen. You cannot stop it. Everything appears to be the same but is different. For example, bees and weeds. The gate of the garden is always open. Derry is inspired and promises to come back. Mr. Lamb's inclusive thoughts, very important. When we are talking of inclusive education, children, I would like you to be connected to the outside world, and let us remember the National Curriculum Framework or NCERT or CBSE message that we are including children of all types of abilities. We are not giving any debarred child to any Kendriya Vidyalaya or other schools. We are accepting all types of children, and inclusive education we have. But Mr. Lamb tells that flowers and weeds are one and the same thing for him. He grows weeds too in his garden because he feels weeds too enjoy the same right to survive along with flowers and fruits. Instead of considering himself impaired, he has got 2 legs, ears, eyes, hands, a brain and a tongue. He can do better than the rest. His words impressed Derry. The ironical ending that I was telling you, Derry's mother stops him, but he is adamant, saying if he doesn't go now, it would be never. When he comes back, he sees Lamb lying on the ground. It is ironical that when he searches a new foothold to live happily, he finds Mr. Lamb dead. In this way, the play depicts the heart-rending life of physically disabled people with their loneliness, aloofness, and alienation. So, we have to change ourselves looking at the loneliness of Mr. Lamb and his pathetic death. Derry promises Mr. Lamb to come back, help him in putting down the crab apples, but Mr. Lamb knows from his old experience that Derry will not return. To pull down the apples, he loses his balance. The ladder falls back along with Mr. Lamb. Mr. Lamb dies. Both Derry and Lamb are physically impaired and lonely.